Salve, Mauro Antonini, Segno Cinema per il signor Diesel. Io quando penso alla sua carriera mi vengono in mente tre icone fondamentali che sono i miei personaggi favoriti: Riddick, Dom Toretto chiaramente e Xander Cage. Volevo chiedere, visto che due di questi personaggi sono stati serializzati, lei li ha interpretati più di una volta, mentre Xander Cage è rimasto soltanto al primo XXX, che cosa è dipesa la scelta di quali personaggi continuare in sequel e quali altri invece fermarsi ad un solo capitolo? E ugualmente alla signorina Michelle mi piacerebbe rivederla in un sequel di Resident Evil anche sotto forma di zombie.
Sometimes Hollywood gets too horny. I talked about that earlier. It took me 5 years to return to the Riddick character. It took me 8 years to return to the Dom Toretto character. And Rob Cohen is going to direct the next XXX, The Return of Xander. It goes back to what I was talking about before. I haven't been, Hollywood hasn't been able to buy me. I don't just do a sequel because they're ready and they have a script that they think could get foreign financing. It's much more important to maintain the integrity of a character. And sometimes a studio doesn't want to wait for that integrity and will try to rush a sequel. But when you say that those are some of your favorite characters, that's why I do them, and that's why I won't compromise that. I feel like I owe it to you, as a fan of those characters and as somebody that can escape in these movies, to hold the line. And sometimes with that you get the he's difficult or he's not, whatever way they want to spin it. But the reality is, if a character is sacred to me, I'm sometimes the last, the final arbiter, the last defense. And I want you to know that if I do a movie, I'm doing it with my heart. Otherwise, I won't do it. Otherwise, I won't compromise it. I can be, you know, I've been charged with being too precious sometimes, and sometimes I hold the script standard too high for some people, where they say, just be in the movie. But it's very important to me to hold that line. You know, I started out in theater many, many years ago when I was a kid in New York, and I think that filmmaking is something very sacred. And I think the art of filmmaking is something very sacred. And I just refuse to compromise with that. So sometimes it takes a little bit longer to get the right story to return to the character. And I hope you appreciate, you know, when we finally do get there, you can tell that the work has been done to make something significant that we can be proud of. I mean, that's a very big thing, to be able to look at your work and feel proud of your work. And sometimes, you know, you go a while without doing a film or returning to the character to protect that. The ability, the art of infusing integrity into a Hollywood film is a very tricky task, and not always an easy task. But it usually produces work that you can be proud of, which is important. I think, I hope.
I doubt I'll be returning as a zombie. What I've come to learn industry that I got into to become a writer is that I have to start writing in order to, you know, find that character that I really like. I mean, if you've noticed, I haven't been a lead in a movie since Girl Fight, and that's for a reason. It's because I can't find, you know, somebody interesting enough to play. You know, so my whole thing is eventually to find something really fun and interesting and cool and sexy. And when I find that character, I'm going to exploit the shit out of her and create a franchise of my own. Yeah, and I think that takes time, you know. It takes time. So, there you go.